So it looks like someone's going to slide out. They might splash a little bit. Perfect. So there she is, folks. Takara, the matriarch of our whale pod. 32 years old. Very nice. Now, this position here is a great opportunity for you guys to get a wonderful photo and to really take a look at the unique markings and the entire body, right? But we train that behavior to take care of them. So that is actually how we get weights on the animals, and we weigh them every single week. So we ask them to slide out onto a killer whale size scale, and then every single week we're able to know exactly how much they weigh. So that behavior is actually very important. She's going to engage in another really fun behavior here. Perfect. Now this is a natural behavior of killer whales. They are incredible problem solvers, and all the different populations over the world have developed different hunting techniques. So they're great problem solvers, and learning is a really important part of their life as well. And we make sure to encourage lifelong learning here at SeaWorld. And so this behavior where she's sliding out onto this shallow ledge here, this is actually a hunting technique of killer whales.
Oh, here they come.
So usually what we see is that there are populations that hunt pinnipeds, or sea lions and seals, and that are hanging out on the beach. And so groups of killer whales have learned that if they move with the waves and slide into the very shallow area, they're more likely to grab one of those seals or sea lions, and then they have their meal. But it is a learned technique that they actually teach to each other, because there is a risk of becoming beached, and so they really have to learn how to safely do that. Now here we have a very safe way to do it, right? It's right on the ledge here, so they have a really easy time getting in and out. But it's excellent that we're able to train some of those natural behaviors, allow the whales to engage physically in those natural behaviors that's going to provide the cognitive stimulation as well as the physical exercise that these guys need regularly. Okay. Now, it looks like trainers Amy and, is that Elizabeth? Hello? They are actually demonstrating another really important behavior for the care of killer whales. So some of the sessions we do are called husbandry sessions, and that is anything related to their health care. So earlier we mentioned weighing them. That would be one example of a husbandry behavior. But what the trainers are demonstrating now, and Takara is giving a great example of, is how we do sonograms. So the veterinarians can come with their ultrasound machine, and then the whales can line up in different orientations that allow us access to different parts of their body. And then they just kind of hang out, and we're able to use that ultrasound to check all of their internal organs. Specifically, we tend to do routine reproductive sonograms and also lung sonograms. So those are very important parts to keep a close eye on. But really anything we need to take a look at, just like if you guys went to the doctor, they might ask for various body parts. We're able to ask the whales to roll different ways to give us access. And that's a great way for us to make sure that we're maintaining their health throughout their life. Perfect. And so here's another example, a radiograph. So the care of the killer whale's teeth is actually incredibly important. Killer whale teeth don't have enamel, and they only have one set in their entire life. So they can get worn down very easily, and it's a really important place for us to pay attention to make sure that infection isn't entering the body that way. So just like you guys should be taking care of your teeth, we make sure to take care of the whale's teeth. And part of that is by doing routine radiographs. Just like if you were to go to the dentist for your checkup and get your x-rays so they can make sure that your teeth are staying nice and strong and healthy. The whales are trained for that behavior as well, and that allows us to keep a close eye on their teeth. In addition to that, we brush the killer whale's teeth twice a day, every day. Now, Cayucid actually does have a toothbrush, but for the most part, we're providing care slightly different from how we're brushing our teeth at home, right? So we use a special solution, which is actually similar to something you might have used if you have visited the dentist and they've sent you home with a special mouthwash. But every single day we're keeping a really close eye on those teeth to make sure that they're staying healthy. This, folks, is Kamea. So she is the smallest as well as the youngest killer whale. But you can see she knows all of those husbandry behaviors as well. So important that even at a young age, we're really focused on training these behaviors because, again, that is exactly how we're going to make sure we're taking care of them physically throughout their lifetime. If you guys, hopefully, right, go to the doctor every single year for your annual physical, right, just your yearly checkup. They're going to take different samples, make sure everything looks good. The killer whales have a monthly physical. Every single month the veterinarians come to visit us up here, because obviously we're not going down to the vet office. So they come here and are getting samples as well, just like you would for yourself, your kids, or your pets at home. And some of those samples might include exhaling onto a petri dish, or a blood sample that we can draw from their tail flukes, or even a urine sample. So the females here actually know when we show them a small sample cup, just like you guys have at the doctor's office, exactly the same thing. We show them that sample cup, ask them to slide out on their side, and they will urinate, and we're able to get that urine sample, which is perfect because there's a ton of information that you can tell from something like all of these samples, and then our laboratory is able to run those diagnostics and make sure that everything looks good, and we watch how it changes throughout their lifetime. Very nice. Now, Jacob is a newer trainer who is working on something very, very important, probably even more important than the husbandry sessions, and that is building a relationship. Because all of these behaviors that we're talking about are only possible through the relationship that we build with them. They can tell the difference between each trainer. They can tell the difference between all of you guys. And it really matters, I guess, what the relationship is that you build with them, whether they're going to participate in all of those other behaviors or not. They always have a choice. The kind of training we do is positive reinforcement, which means we're going to draw lots of attention when they're correct. And when they're incorrect, we're not going to say no, or there's no form of punishment or anything like that, because they always have a choice. When we come over to the side of the pool, you guys probably noticed they kind of came over, they're interested in what we're doing, but they have a choice to continue to swim around and do their killer whale thing, and that's important to us to make sure that they have that choice, right? So that's part of their welfare as well. But as a trainer, we take it very seriously that our job is to be as fun as possible. So that relationship is the very foundation of all of those other behaviors. Ooh, you guys are getting a chance to see a urine sample. That's perfect. Check it out. She showed her that little cup. There we go. As easy as that, right? But again, that's so important because Kylan here has a very close relationship with Sakari, the 13-year-old killer whale. And so checking on that urine regularly can give us lots of information that our veterinarians can check and keep track of, including hormones as well as metabolism and how her body is processing different things. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to is, are we taking the best care of Sakari, of some of the husbandry behaviors that we do and how we take care of their physical bodies. But their mental health is very, very important as well. I talked about how intelligent killer whales are great problem solvers, and that learning is a really important way to keep them active mentally and engaged. And so learning new things is also a really important part of the care of the killer whales. So right now in the center of the pool, Takara is actually working on a new behavior. And it's a back breach, which actually she does know, but the way that she knows it, the context in which she knows it, is to go into the center of the pool. And so we're trying to teach her to be able to do it in different parts of the pool and maybe even do more than one in different parts of the pool. So Amy is working on that with Takara and trying to communicate to her that she wants her to go in a different place. And it's really interesting, our training process, or we could go into detail, but I do believe that another integral area is focusing on that specific training. But what we want to talk about is how that's so important to their care. So hopefully you guys can see from that husbandry sessions that obviously being able to get something like a urine sample or a blood sample is going to help us take care of them. But making sure that they are cognitively taken care for as well is very important. Sakari is actually in a very neat session called an Innovate, which is a perfect example of one of the ways that we're using training to help care for them. Now, Kylie gave her one signal, and normally our hand signals are kind of like sign language where one signal means one thing. But this hand signal means innovate or create. So Kylie can give the same signal over and over again, and what we're looking for is for Sakari to do something different every time. So this is a great way to get the whales thinking, challenging them, right? And to really provide that enrichment, cognitive enrichment for them. There we go, that same signal again. And then she's gonna go out to the center of the pool and we'll see if she does something different. So that one looked that one looked similar, and so you didn't hear that whistle. So she's learning, okay, that didn't work. What else can I try? Oh, she came up with one on the way back. There we go. So smart. So this has been really, really neat. And not only is this great for Sakari, but we actually had a professor, a researcher from St. Mary's University come watch videos of these kind of sessions, how we trained it. And it's not just Sakari who knows this, but all of the killer whales. And she actually studied creativity in the whales. And so they're looking at how they process information, how they create, how they problem solve. And this is giving insight into how they might be doing that out in the wild as well. So we're partnering with the researchers and conservationists across the globe really to make sure that the things that we can learn about the 5 whales here allow us to take care of them. Absolutely. But through those collaborations, that's also allowing us to learn more about killer whales everywhere and hopefully be able to protect them. Perfect. All right. Well, again, I just want to let you guys know you guys are welcome to stay and hang out. You're welcome to come and go as you please. We do have about 35 more minutes left that this area will be open. We're actually, in just a moment, going to be headed to the other side to do a session with Kayuket and Tuar. And so I'll be sharing more information about them. And if you're curious what just happened in front of you, those long white noodle